Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money Podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, tour schedule, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Tony Calloway on the line, and he's managing partner over at Private Money Syndicate. Tony, welcome to the show.
Adam, I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, man, so I'm excited to get into today's topic. So we're going to talk about the benefits of private money lending and taking on private money for small businesses. But before we do that, I do want to go a little bit further into what you're doing overall over at Private Money Syndicate. Tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
All right, fantastic, and thank you. The Private Money Syndicate is focused on creating access to capital for small businesses and real estate investors. We've invested a lot of, I'll call it intellectual capital, in creating relationships with a variety of private funding sources that range from people who aggregate individual money to hedge funds that give people who need the money to grow and start businesses the opportunity to gain access to it, and then we give them some consulting to help maximize where they're trying to go and with their course of action to be successful.
Man, that's awesome. And you know, first off, I don't think all business owners or small business owners are kind of aware of some of the channels and the ways that they're able to borrow money. Because most people, in my experience at least, they go to the bank, they maybe they don't even have the business plan to go to the bank. They get rejected, and that's it. Like, it's over for them. They're like, oh, the idea didn't work. I couldn't get the money. Maybe they go to another bank. Maybe they go to another one. But they don't understand that there's a whole nother potential source for lending for their idea and or their business. Can you go into that a little bit more?
Yes, in fact, you described it perfectly. I like to say that when the bank says no, we're standing ready to say yes. So the key things that relate to that dynamic are that the private lending world is almost comparable to the amount of money that's loaned through banks, but the banks tend to focus on well-established middle and large companies, whereas the private lending realm has evolved to service the needs of the small businesses, the startups, and things like that. The important thing that you mentioned also is having a plan. We have resources to help people to get a bankable or lendable business plan, because that serves both the lender to look at that person's ability to manage their capital once they get it, and it also creates a roadmap that will help that business owner to understand how to deploy those dollars to help them increase their revenue, increase their bottom line, and all the things that money can buy that businesses need. So to the extent that I think the advent and utilization of a lot of technology have created more opportunities for small businesses and entrepreneurs, but the lending world, in the traditional sense, lost interest in them, whereas the private finance world is here to serve those needs.
Where do you find, so let's continue along the vein of the private world. So let's say that a business owner is aware of that there's potential other sources, but they're still not like kind of lining up with the right funding source. Where do you find business owners are going wrong about kind of searching for the right private money channels?
Well, I'll address that by saying that having a broker, which is what we do at the Private Money Syndicate, who has multiple relationships, is able to understand the relationship between that client's needs and what is behind me in terms of the capital, the right type of capital structure. We call that capital stack. And the way I like to create the analogy, Adam, is if you came to me wanting to build a house and I'm an architect, you tell me what you want that house to look like, and I'll draw it, and then I'll take that to a general contractor who brings in the subs who actually do the lending. So we serve financially as the general contractor and as the architect. So if you're talking to me about your capital needs as a consultant, I'm able to turn around and say, well, we have these multiple lenders. Which ones would meet your profile? Which one can meet the amount that you need? You know, do you meet their minimum thresholds? Those kind of things. Instead of you getting turned down, and lucky, you know, we're more scientific, because now I have a good diagnosis of your needs, and I'm able to go out into the relationship set that we have to find the right type of capital to meet your needs to help you grow.
So I know this is going to vary from business owner to business owner, and obviously from business to business, founder to founder, industry, all those other things. But I do know certain themes tend to arise. So a lot of people listening don't necessarily even know when they should take on capital. So when it does make sense, and that maybe they have a minimal viable product, or maybe they're at that stage and they started bootstrapping and now their idea is going, and they don't even understand that they can take it on and what it would do to their overall business, and that they can make more money now. They don't have to wait for 10 years till sales and everything else compound. Can you talk a little bit more about, like, in your experience, how that all works?
Yes. I was just in a conversation with somebody that's saying that in business, you need land, labor, raw material, and capital. Capital is an input to business, just like raw material, just like where you're going to have your business. And even if you're the only labor, you've got to have capital. So how do I maximize the return on all of those things? Well, capital is most flexible and fluid. So to the extent that people need to have, I guess, a consultative guidance to realize that you can actually have access to capital even if you're pre-revenue. But the important thing about coming into it from that point of view, Adam, is that the plan for the discipline on how to use those monies will be the relationship that ties the lender or the investor, because we have access to equity as well, to the idea that you have for the business. And as that business continues to grow along that path, that plan that might be a 36-month projection is going to let you know where you need new infusions of capital, whether you need working capital, equipment capital, whether you need financing for real estate, or you need factoring because you have contracts, or you have purchase order financing. Having somebody with the expertise like the private money syndicate who can understand you, who understands the capital markets, can put all these things into the right gearing mechanism so that they all work together, not only from the beginning, even if it's pre, all the way through to where you're at the point where, let's just say your exit strategy is to sell the business. Let's say if your exit strategy is to go public, we're able to give that type of support.
Man, that's awesome. So I do want to spend a little bit of time on this new program that's coming out. Right? It may not be new, but a grant-subsidized program providing small businesses capital. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes. We have a relationship with a technical assistance provider who has a grant-subsidized program that they call Access to Capital, whereby they're able to work with from pre-revenue all the way up through existing businesses with multi-million-dollar raises, where they have as part of their charter under this SBA subsidized program to guarantee to be able to raise a minimum of $100,000 for any small business, regardless of credit or time in business. And I want to qualify when it says regardless of credit, that part of the process may be to get them positioned where their personal and or EIN-based business credit is adequate, but the resources are there to help with that development. The major objective in the course of this capital raise, and again, it could be equity, if not debt, and debt is usually the easiest to get for startups and early-stage businesses, is to get them where they're able to access EIN or tax ID number based business credit that's not going to show up on the borrower's personal credit report. So the resources we have available to help these businesses is really going strong, because a lot more people now are trying to start businesses because of all the things that are going on. And I don't think that's ever going to change, because with technology, as I said earlier, it creates many, many more resources for people to take their ideas and their products in the marketplace. But again, capital tends to be the shortfall, and we've done a great job over the past 5 years of being in place to help people to get the money they need to, as we say, power their dreams with private money.
Man, that's exciting. So, Tony, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on Private Money Syndicate or resources, and they want to learn more about working with you and your team, I mean, what's the best way for them to follow up and to reach out? Okay.
You're welcome and invited to visit privatemoneysyndicate.com. That's privatemoneysyndicate.com. And you can reach me directly by email at tony@privatemoneygodfather.com. That's my nickname. Tony.
I love it.
Tony@privatemoneygodfather.com. And for your listeners, Adam, I'll invite them to call me directly. My number is 706-888-3719. 706-888-3719.
Oh man, Tony, and don't forget the plug on the Facebook Live show. Come on, man, tell us about that one. You thought I was gonna forget that? I'm not gonna forget that. How can they not? Who is gonna miss out on the chance to learn from the Private Money Godfather? Come on, tell us about this show.
Yes, every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, there's a Mind Your Business show. And we call it the show that helps you to grow, because on there we rotate through doing interviews with consultants and experts. We have, in fact, this particular Saturday, we're going to have somebody who's going to have a focus on technology and how you can use apps to make your business look like a Fortune 500 business, even if all you're working from is a laptop and a smartphone. And we also interview different business owners all across the country who share some of their successes and challenges as a small business and an entrepreneur as lessons learned and as motivation for others who want to get involved in their own entrepreneurial pursuit. So every Saturday, 11 o'clock, the Mind Your Business show, because if you're going to be in business and stay in business, Adam, you've got to mind your business. So please tune in at Facebook Live /Private Money Syndicate for the Mind Your Business show at 11 o'clock on Saturdays.
And just so the listeners have a feel for the flow of the show, like how long does it normally last? Like a half an hour, just so people have a good feel?
We always do less than an hour. It'll run between 40 and 50 minutes. And usually the first 20 to 30 minutes are the interview and discussion. And we always have questions. So the last 10 to 15 tends to be Q&A. We call that the real 411 Q&A, where people actually ask their questions through chat, and either myself or the guest are able to address those.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, hey, Tony, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and all the great things that you're doing over at Private Money Syndicate. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Money, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the comment section. I'd love to connect with you there and find out what kind of projects you're doing. And Tony, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you, Adam.